What's up guys? So for today's video, I'm going to be showing you how to edit a travel video. And if you haven't seen part 1 where I show you how to film a travel video and go over all the shots and everything that you need, then go check out that first and come back here. And definitely make sure to subscribe and turn on the bell notification, and let's get started. All right, so the first thing that I will do is I will go to my Finder and I will select all of the clips that I want to use. Usually I have them in a pre-selected folder. So once my clips are all in there, as you can see, if you just drag the cursor over, you can preview all of your clips. What I will do is I will go in and I'll start rough cutting. I basically just use the shortcut, which is the blade tool. You press B on your keyboard. I just toggle between A and B and it allows you to have either the blade tool or the cursor. So what I'll do is I'll just stick the blade tool on there by pressing B, and then I'll kind of skim over the clip and find a part that I think will look good in the video, or when I'm filming, I usually have an idea of what part I want to use. So zooming in and out, then I'll just do a little cut on either side and then press the A button and select the 2 outside clips and press delete. So it's pretty straightforward. You're basically just chopping up your footage, trying to find something that works. You want to chop up more than you need, because once you go in and stabilize the footage later and do the adjustments to it, you might find that that footage doesn't actually work or that specific clip doesn't work. So then you can hopefully find a different clip from that little sequence thing that you filmed. And the more you do this, the quicker you'll get at it. So once everything is cut, what I'll do is I'll select everything and then I'll go down to the right side and click the stabilization tool. Now you'll have to give your Final Cut Pro a little bit of time to render because it will go slow if you kind of continue editing. So I usually like to leave it. I'll go start the thumbnail or something like that. And what you're gonna find when you stabilize all your footage is that some of the clips are not gonna stabilize well. So what I usually do is I'll go to the beginning and I'll see what clips really don't stabilize well. And what you can do is if you find that it's not stabilizing it properly and gives it kind of that weird wonky look to it, what you can do is there's different things you can try. So what I usually like to do is if the automatic one doesn't work, is there's another option here. You can actually go down to smooth cam. And then there's another option as well if smooth cam doesn't work, but I find usually that will do the trick. And then worst case, if that doesn't work as well, sometimes I'll just take the stabilization off completely, because having a handheld look can look really cool and just kind of give the feeling like you're really there. So that is an option to look at as well. You don't need to stabilize all your footage. You can just stabilize certain footage. Shots that are running shots and that sort of thing where you actually want it to be shaky, you won't want to stabilize, because if you have too shaky of a shot, what it will do is it will just zoom it in really, really far and it just looks very strange. And then what I do before I start the keyframing and the speed ramping is I'll actually copy the whole project over into an Instagram format, which is 1080 times 1920 if you want to do Instagram stories, and then 1080 times 1350 if you want to do those Instagram videos. So the next thing I do is I go in and I move all my clips around and try and figure out where exactly I want them to go. So I'll usually take my favorites and then pull those to the front. And then the next step, and a very important step, is to add the music. And this is where you can have a really fun time with the editing and make sure that all the clips flow exactly to the beats of the music. So next up, I'm going to talk to you guys about the keyframing. So this has honestly made a really big difference in my videos. And what I think is really cool about this is you can actually take a clip where you weren't moving at all, or a clip that was filmed on a tripod, and you can make it look like a moving shot. So it gives you a lot more flexibility within your footage. You don't necessarily have to worry about getting the perfect shot, and it's made a huge difference, because I think when filming, it's easy to get stressed out about getting really good footage, but I honestly think you can get very mediocre footage and make it look really cool in post. But basically what I want to do first is I'm gonna take the fit of the frame and put it to 50%, just so it's a little further out and I can actually see the edge of the frame. So what I'll do is I'll click on that guy, and what you want to make sure is that your cursor is set at the very start of the clip. And if I want to get a shot where it looks like it's zooming out, what I'll do is I'll pull the tab of the screen all the way out to the edge so it's zoomed in a little bit, and then with my cursor set at the start of the footage, I'll click that keyframing tab, and then I will take that and drag it to the very end of the clip. And then what you want to do is drag the footage out. Because you clicked the keyframe thing at the very start, that sets the clip, and then by having it go out at the very end, that's where the thing's going to end. And as you can see, there's a little X on the diamond thing, and that shows that it's doing the movement. And what you can do to actually make sure this is working is you can drag your cursor along the clip and see it zooming out. Another move I like to do is it zooming in, but basically what you do is you just start your clip at how it looks like normally, and then you press the keyframe thing, and then once again take your cursor to the very end of the clip, and then you want to zoom it in. So the first frame is going to be at normal, and then it's going to slowly zoom in. And because you're selecting only the first and the last part of the clip, it's going to do it gradually for you automatically. So I hope this makes sense. Honestly, keyframing takes a bit of practice, so I highly recommend just watching some in-depth tutorials on how to do it and practicing on your own, because it can be very confusing at first and you'll try and do certain things and then it won't work properly. So then what you can actually do is you can go in and reset the clip. So if you realize you've just messed everything up, you can actually right click on transform and go reset. The next trick that I use all the time is speed ramping, and this is a really great way to segue one clip into the other, and you do this with a little keyboard trick by pressing Shift B on the Mac. And so wherever your cursor is, the Shift B is going to split the clip, as you can see as it's doing here. So whichever part I want to speed up, I will go that Shift B, and then you can see the little tabs on the top where it splits it into 3 sections, and it says normal 100% and has a little tab. So what you can actually do is click that little tab, and you can go fast times 2, 4, 8, 20. And as you can see, these little gray bars that hit the kind of outside of where you had just speed ramped, what that actually does is makes it gradual. So it's not kind of a sudden movement. So this is what I like to do to actually make one clip go into the other. And as I talked about in my other tutorial of those filming movements you can do where one clip goes into the other, this is a really great way to connect them even better. So speed ramping is a huge thing that I recommend for everyone to learn how to do. And what's nice as well is you don't even need clips that would flow well together. You can do one where it's kind of moving to the right and connect a different one that's also kind of moving to the right, even if you didn't film that intentionally. And if you guys haven't watched my video on how you actually film these travel videos, I go over all the camera movements and stuff you can use to actually make this speed ramping look so much better, because if you do those camera movements in combination with speed ramping, it honestly looks fantastic, because you have the keyframing where it goes in and out with a bit of speed ramping and everything just flows very well together. All right, so next up is color grading. And I always get a lot of questions on this, and honestly think it's so important and can make a video look so much better. So what I've actually been using recently is a free plugin that was by MLUT. And so what's really cool with this is you can actually load your own LUTs into it, or ones that you've gotten from other people. So I'm gonna leave the 2 that I've been using down below, so if you guys want to download them as well. And then what I do is I actually stack 2 or 3 on top of each other. And so this one I'm using one called Vital LUT, and basically what it does is just brighten the clip. I found this one randomly online, so like I said, I will leave those linked below. And then I also use this one called Sin Style, and I'll never put it up the full percentage. I'll usually just do it about 20 or 30. I'll look at the footage and see what looks best. I've been finding some of these have been making my skin look kind of orange, so what I will actually do as well is I will stack Color Finale Pro on top of it. And for a while, this was the only color grading program I was using. I think it's around $100. What's cool about it though is it gives you Lightroom capabilities. You can adjust the hue, the saturation, and the luminance. But yeah, that's basically what I do for color grading. And then once I have them on the few clips that I like the coloring of it, what I'll do is I'll press Command C and I'll copy it for that clip, and then copy it onto all the other clips that are similar coloring. But yeah, that's basically it for all the tips and the tricks that I use in all the videos that you guys watch. I really hope that you guys enjoyed watching it and found it useful. This has been one of my most highly requested videos, so I was excited to release it and show you guys. And if you have any questions or anything, leave those in the comments below. I'll definitely make sure to answer those. And if you guys want to follow me on Instagram, I've actually been posting travel videos 1 every 3 posts. So it was a little challenge I set for myself, and I've actually managed to keep it up so far. So you guys can follow me on there and get a bunch of extra video content. And that is it for today. I will see you guys in my next video. Bye.